Hey guys, I'm Jasper and today I'm going to show you how to stretch your ear. If you're watching this, you're probably a newbie and you don't really know what you're doing. Pretty much today we're going to be using a taper. And that is a taper or a spike, as a lot of other fuckwits call it. But anyway, it's not called a gauge. It's just called a taper. Pretty much what this is this is a 6mm or 2 gauge, depending on where you are. Americans, I think, measure it in gauges, if I'm right. Here in Australia, we just measure it in mils. This is a 6mm. If you're starting stretching, you got to hear me out here. You need to start with anywhere between a 1, I think it's 1.5 and 3 mil stretcher. I started with a 3, and that fucking hurt. Stretching isn't supposed to hurt unless you skip sizes. Then it fucking hurts. Especially when you go from 3 mils to 6, which I did. So, what you're going to want to do is, if you've got your taper, you go and you find either some lube, some soap, or whatever you use to wank off with, and you smear it all over that end of the taper, and over the front and the back of your ears. Then what you're going to want to do is put this down, you go have a shower. While you're in the shower, you got to try and put this through. There's actually 3 ways to tape. To stretch, sorry. You can tape, which is where you get a piece of jewelry. You keep putting layers of tape on, it slowly gets bigger and bigger, and eventually you get to the size that you want, but nah, let's go. Or you can use a taper like this, which is the second best way. The first one would probably be tape, and the third one, which do not do, is called dead stretching. That's it. Anyway, don't dead stretch. Dead stretch is pretty much where you shove the next jewelry size up into your ear. And if your ear isn't fully healed, it'll fuck it up. You'll either get a blowout or you'll rip your earlobe. Ripping your earlobe isn't too bad as long as it's not too big. I haven't ripped mine. Oh, I did a bit actually, and it bled a fair bit. But if you get a blowout, it pretty much what it is if you stretch too quick and with something that's too big, it'll take the middle of your ear and put it out the back, so you have this little flap hanging out, which isn't a good look. Anyway, you're gonna want to take the stretcher, and if your ear isn't completely healed up, it's gonna hurt like a bitch. You put one end, the small end, into your earlobe, push down slowly. A lot of people won't be able to get the full way in the first go. They'll get about there, they won't be able to go up because there's a little steep climb. And if that happens, just leave it in for 10 minutes. I know it'll look stupid having it hanging out halfway. Leave it in for anywhere between 10 minutes and an hour. If you do that, it'll be fine. If you're skipping sizes, which I don't advise, but I've done, it'll hurt like a motherfucker. I can tell you that much. The best advice I can give you is put ice on it. If you ice it, it'll numb it, but it also increases the chances of it tearing. But if that's a risk that you want to take, then go ahead and do it. Again, don't take my word for it if you don't want it. But alright, so you've got it halfway in. What you want to do is you push slightly. If it's stuck and won't go any further, this is where it gets interesting, and you're gonna have to push all your thought. I can get this through pretty easily. Just like that, until the end. You won't be able to get it through that easily. It's only because I've actually stretched to this size. Now that it's in, what you're going to want to do is, depending on if you can't take it off, leave it on there. Leave it on until the next day. If you can take it off then, take it off. It's not advised that you put these in for a long amount of time though, especially because it's acrylic. If it's acrylic, it can grow to your ear, which isn't fun. So you're normally supposed to stretch with either glass or stainless steel, but again, that'll cost more because these acrylic ones cost like $2 to $4, which is good. But anyway, what you want to do is take the O-ring off like that. Also, don't do this with double flared jewelry. If you do that, you're going to fuck your ears up something horrible. I'll show you what double flared jewelry is if you don't know. It's pretty much And you can't wear these if you've just stretched either, so don't bother. You can only wear these after your ears are filled up. That's double flared. You'll see that the bits on the edges are bigger than the one in the middle. The reason that is you go on an angle and you hook it in so it'll fit in. Problem is that the middle bit is the one that's the size of your ears. The edges aren't. The edges are 1 to 2 mils bigger. So good luck fitting that in your ear. And if you do fit it in, you're not going to be able to get it out. You're also going to either give yourself a blowout or you're going to tear your earlobe, which isn't fun again. So that'll be a pretty shit stretching experience. Anyway, so this is a tunnel, flesh tunnel. You can do this with tunnels, plugs, as long as it's not double flared. You can do it with single flared. You line it up next to the end of the taper, and you pull the taper out. You push your thing in at the same time. Now I fucked that up, but I put this in the back anyway. So that's what you'll do. Oh, and my computer's gone to sleep. Good on ya. Anyway, let me get this fucker in. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, there you have it. Your ears will now be stretched. Keep it in. We'll keep the stretcher in for. Keep the plug in for. I'd say about a week before you start changing it, but I mean you can do it before, just so it has time to heal, because you pretty much need to treat it like it's a new piercing, which means sea soaks every two times a day. Make sure it doesn't get infected. Keep your hands away from it, all that good stuff like that. Otherwise, you're gonna get it infected, and you'll probably have to get your ear cut off or have something done to it. I don't know. Thanks for watching. This has been Jasper Matthews. Feel free to like and subscribe. You'll really be helping me out. Cheers.